Hello guys and welcome to a video from me, Aquablad, here on playfaeria.com. Usually I'd want to put out a meta overview on Sundays, but unfortunately a recent patch has made it a little bit difficult for me to get a kind of grasp of how the meta has changed. A lot of cards were changed and I haven't had time to figure out what the meta game is at the higher end of the ladder yet. So for this week I'm just going to do a playthrough video of me playing the Yellow Rush deck guy, which I made for Learn Faeria, and that is also available on playfaeria.com. So I'm going to do a video just showing me play the deck and just talk about some of the things that is happening in the Faeria world at the moment. So if you guys didn't know, there was a patch dropped on April the 8th. We had quite a few changes, but most notably, Runin's Avenger got changed, so he only gets health now from you having damage dealt to. He doesn't gain attack stats anymore. I think this is a very fair way to change the card. And in my previous guide, I kind of shown how powerful that card was when it got attack. So that's a little bit different in my green-yellow Avengers deck. So that's the change they did recently for green. But they did some changes to yellow as well. Soul Drain can no longer target orbs, and I had already made my guide, and then this patch came out, so I had to do a few little tweaks to it. Azarine is now very different. He drains to attack from enemy creatures instead of getting the Last Nightmare he used to get. The Colossi changed as well. They get an extra bit of attack. But also, Last Nightmare costs 3 deserts now. So there are a fair few different things going on. But I have released the guide now. It is on playfaeria.com and it has been updated. So another thing that will be happening in the Faeria world as well, which I'm a part of, is the Gamers Origin Faeria Clash on the 23rd of April. This should be 23rd of April into the 24th of April, as far as I know. Well, we still have to get the dates sorted. But this is a $5,000, if I just try, yeah, $5,000 tournament. 8 other card game pros, mainly Hearthstone pros at the moment, have been invited to play in this event. And those players will go up against 8 qualifiers. So far we have Kalento, RDU, Orange, and the Fishu as well. And those guys have been announced. We still have 4 more players, but like I said, these players will go up against 8 qualified players, and you guys can actually get involved with that by entering the qualification tournaments on, let me just get the dates for you guys, 16th of April and the 17th of April. So if you guys want to have a shot at playing against some Hearthstone pros, that's definitely an option for you. Getting involved in these tournaments. And of course the $5,000. And I will be casting the event, the English cast, along with Lofar. And on the French side of things, it's going to be Babel and Typhus. And the Fishu as well, he's going to be doing some guest casting. So that's really exciting, you know, the first big Faeria tournament coming your way on the 23rd and 24th of April. And I'm very happy to be involved. I do love this game. It has a lot of potential. I've really liked the growth it's had. I've been playing it since November now, so I've got to see some of the changes, and I really like the way the game is shaping. So that's kind of all the news stuff of this video I just wanted to touch on. So let's get into this game. So I did the neutral landfill right up the middle. I did get blocked off a little bit just by creatures mainly. I'm not sure what this blue deck is, but it is causing me a little bit of trouble. I really wanted to place desert there, but that's going to be a problem. Interesting. So I could Last Nightmare this and move up and say just hit the face. This frog is something I want to deal with. I don't think I want to use the last nightmare just yet. Gonna get that Faeria, and this is what I talked about in my guide, making desert tiles next to Faeria pools so you can get that Faeria as well. I think that's all I'll go for. That was a bit of a clunky turn actually. I'm not sure if that was the correct line of play. I was kind of caught up in some of the information I was giving you guys and kind of lost my focus on what was going on. He gets a value trade here, which kind of sucks. But I'm hoping that I'll be able to draw a Soul Drain. Take this guy out. Or take this guy out probably. Get a Soul Drain. He's blocking off his pool. I really wanted... He didn't develop a tile here, so this is still free for me to use up, which is very nice. Don't find that Soul Drain, unfortunately. But I can start making some noise. No card draw though. That's what I really want. I really want to get some Khalim's Prayers on the go. I don't know if it's worth taking this out. I don't want it to get protection. The frog, killing the frog opens up my follower doing some damage. But this could be quite a threat. So I can't get the... So the choices I have is I develop the Freedom Fighter. I take this guy out, maybe 2 for 1, gain a Faeria, but if I develop him anywhere else, it's not really going to work out for me. Let's draw a card. Ooh, Soul Pact. Not card draw though. Alright, so let's take care of this guy. It might just be worth using my Wind Soldier to finish off this frog. And then I can get Khalim's follower down. But then the Warden clears my Khalim's follower, and the frog will clear my Freedom Fighter, and he's still left with this, and he has initiative on Borg. He gets to summon. I'll hold off now. Really didn't want that Fairy buffing up. Can be very deadly. These Gem Silk Fairy. I like these cards. I haven't used them much though. I'd like to try and squeeze them into a deck. Oh, down. Ouch. That really sucks. So this is one of the cards that has changed. Drains 2 attack from each enemy creature adjacent. So it's kind of like the reverse version of the Shaitan Vampire. But Shaitan Vampire kills creatures, which I think Shaitan Vampire is just a better card now than this. But I left in the deck because we were talking about in the previous guide. So what I'm thinking about doing is dropping the Wind Soldier, running him across, clearing, developing land tiles, and then clearing. If I do it from this side, I gain a Faeria. So is that Faeria going to be important? So that Faeria is going to allow me for play my monk, but I'm not going to be able to develop the land tile. So I'm going to have to Soul Pact anyway. So let's do it this way. Soul Pact. Let's draw a card before I decide to take out this 6-1. Oh, that one Faeria would have made a lot of difference actually. That does. But I wouldn't have been able to develop that land tile. So it doesn't make much difference, but let's take out this guy. Alright. So the heat is on. He is taking damage. I can't do Soul Drain on face anymore, so I only have 2 damage available to me. Frog is starting to do a little bit of work. Not too much, but with 9 Faeria and 4 cards in hand, a lot of multicolored land, he has a lot of, probably has a lot of potential to drop something big, like a Colossi. If he drops a Ninja Toad, not too worried. Just gonna sit on my desert tiles. This is a good strategy. The one issue he does have is I do have these available to me. But I'm going to take out that Ninja Toad this turn. with the soul drain. Okay, so let's have a look. So let's soul drain this toad. That's number one. Let's drop this guy here. And I'm going to take this turn to develop a land tile by here. So I can start getting that Faeria. Yeah, this variation of my deck is very fast. And I don't think Arazai fits in it. He may have not fit in the previous version before he was nerfed, because he's just a bit too costly. When I altered Lose List, I wanted to be as aggro as possible. Lose List had kind of a mid-rangey element to it as well, with packing a lot of Shaitan vampires. I think there was 3 of them in the original list. And I dropped 2 for 2 Dune Drakes. I like the mobility of Dune Drake. I showed in the video kind of the spaces he can move in, and the land advantage you can gain. Oh, the heals. The heals and the feels. Oh, this thing's scary. Okay. So what do I want to do next turn? This turn I might not do anything. I might just gain some Faeria. Do I draw a card? I think I'll draw a card. And try and find some more haste. Oh, soul drain. So charge 2, so we can move here. And then here, then here. So it's going to take 3 turns to get to me. This is going to do 6 damage in that time this gets to me. So I think I'm just going to soul drain that. Just slow him down. Didn't draw an event, so that's really good. So he doesn't get the charge 2. So it's even slower now, this Gem Silk Fairy. But it's going to cover up my desert tile. Makes me so sad. So this is where Shaitan Vampire would be fantastic if I had a desert tile right by here. Oh, it'd just be deadly, very deadly. Right, this is going to have to be a last nightmare. Just slow him down. Doesn't draw an event as well. So this gem scale is still very slow, which is great. I kind of feel like I'm a bit behind now. I do need a card that will swing the game for me. The pressure is on me. This is a tough turn. I think I might... I can still move down there. I'm thinking about Dune Drake here. So gain Faeria, Dune Drake here. So if he does try and challenge it, he'll take out some of this stuff. But what I ideally want him to do is to deal with this toad. I could use my monk, but that's card draw. It's too important, I think. So I think I'll just leave this guy here and go from there. This blue deck's had quite a good response to the Yellow Rush. I don't know if you guys have watched my video. There were just situations during the matches I was playing to get footage for the video where it was just disgusting. It was just absolutely disgusting how fast I was killing opponents. I was facing there's always a lot of green and blue at this end of the ladder. I'm not too sure about the higher ends. I haven't had the time to really put in a good climb, which I hope to do in the next couple of weeks, building up to the Faeria tournament, just to get me more in touch with the metagame. But Shaitan, like, if this was a desert, it would just be amazing. It'd be so good. So what do I want here? Do I want Faeria? I'm going to gain 3 Faeria next turn. So I'm going to be able... I think I'm gonna gain an extra Faeria for Shaitan. Oh no! Not what I wanted. So these guys can move... Well, they move into Shaitan range, at least. It'll only pop the Divine Shield, which is kind of sad. So I may have to use the Dune Drake to open a shield first, or just clear one of these after. But if only this was a desert. This is why I like this. I do like this card. I did mention I felt it was a little slow, but that's just because I'm a very aggressive player, quite naturally. But I do appreciate what it can achieve. So this is a new Runin's Avenger. As you can see, doesn't get the attack, but I still think it's an incredibly powerful card. That health stat is very rough to deal with. There's not... Some colours won't be able to deal with it without expending a lot of resources. Yellow is one of the fortunate colours which has hard removal, but green and red might struggle a little bit on this card. Blue has can use Frogify, but let's have a look. What do I need to achieve? So if I move this here, that guy can take him out. I think I'm just going to have to race and hope for the best at this point. So I'm just going to drop something with some stats. I'm going to move this here, so I'm going to force a defensive play from this Gemsilk Fairy. So if he does clear it, fine. If he doesn't, I'm going to be putting pressure on his life. And I'll gain some Faeria for next turn. So that gives me 5 Faeria for next turn. So it opens up a Monk and a Wind Soldier if I do gain more Faeria. I'm kind of glad this isn't just me stomping my opponent with like a super fast aggressive start. Oh man, so that's another change that was made recently. So Humbling Vision beforehand reduced the attack only by half, rounded down, and I don't know, I felt a bit lackluster. The previous version of Humbling Vision was so much better, but they now changed it to now it reduces a creature's attack and life, which is really powerful. I really like the change they've done to that. So Lethal is available. I can't even Soul Pact at this point. So I think I will just play the Monk. Try and find that last nightmare. And there we go. That's going to keep me in the game with 2 health, but it's looking pretty bleak, guys. And that is going to be it. So, bit of a struggle there. I kind of lost momentum within the first few turns. Got a rank down as well. Feels really bad. But yeah, I'll be back next week with the meta overview. I'll start doing my research into the meta game at the higher ends, and trying to make a climb myself as well with the new changes. I might go back to blue. I do kind of have the shell of a mono blue guide ready and waiting. When I was building the deck, they had the Yakinin patch where they patched Yak Attack and they patched the Colossi. So it kind of murdered my mono blue deck, but I still have kind of like the core of it. So once mono blue starts to pick up again and I can get a solid list, I kind of have all that in place ready, which is quite nice. So I might return to that in the future. But yeah, that is it for this week's meta overview, I suppose. Like I said, for next Sunday, I'll try and get you guys a couple of lists you can try out. And of course, I'll show you some footage of me playing them so you get an idea of what's done. So thank you very much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, even though I lost. If you'd like to know more information about the patch, be sure to check out Enter Faeria on Twitter, the official Faeria Twitter, and that has the patch notes pinned right to the top. If you'd like to know more about the tournament that I spoke about at the start of the video, be sure to check out GoFaeriaClash.com, and that has everything you need to know about the tournament, including the rules, the stream, the dates, the players that are going to be participating, and all that as well. And of course, be sure to check out PlayFaeria.com, where you can find guides, articles, tips and tricks, and all your needs for Faeria. So thank you very much, guys. I'll see you next week with my next deck guide and the meta overview. So take care. Goodbye.